Yes, I know. I'm a tad bit late to the party with this one. A tad. Though, in my defense, I was born late to the party because this movie is literally older than me. Anyways, let's not get caught doing a super long intro. Hello there, or welcome back. I'm Toasty Taco, the back alley gremlin who tells you which shows or games he liked recently and tells you that you should try them. Today's menu consists of Ghibli's magnum opus, one of, if not the greatest animated film of all time, Princess Mononoke. I'm calling it a review, but let's be real here, this will probably be more of a full-on glaze sesh. So let's go ahead and just jump into that pile of writhing goopy tentacles. Why did I choose that imagery? Some quick context. My history with this movie has been rather interesting, I won't lie. I've seen it twice, once a Brazilian years ago when I was barely lucid enough to form a single word, and the second just like a month ago because they re-released it in theaters. But I kid you not, I wasn't even in double digits of age when I saw this movie. My parents were going out on a date night, so my mom got some movies at the library we could watch while they were gone, and as most moms have probably made the mistake before, she saw some random anime movie and assumed it was the same thing as Disney.
Mom, what did you buy me?
It said anime, so I bought it for you.
I was checking out the movie case before putting it into the player and realized that the rating was PG-13. I was understandably flummoxed given that, at the time, just like my mom, I didn't realize animated shows could be anything but kids' movies. But I shrugged and didn't think too much of it and put the movie in, and safe to say that stayed with me for a long time. I wasn't old enough to get the plot really at all, not even the dialogue, so what I do vividly remember though was that I saw some dude's arms get shot off within the first 30 minutes. And that's honestly all I remembered about the show when I went into it last month. And this time I was the one who roped my parents into it, my dad this time. I convinced the family I had living within an hour or so of the theater to come see it with me, and my dad tagged along as well. Boy, oh boy, I knew it would be a bit of a learning curve, but the second I realized that the movie was subbed, I knew he was in for an even steeper learning curve, one about as steep as the moon launch, dare I say. Long story short, though, he still thought it was pretty cool, and so did I. Really cool, in fact. Dare I say frigid. While on the topic of my good padre, though, I wanted to mention his favorite parts. He's always been a bit of an animation avoider, not because he thinks it's bad or anything, but he just prefers live-action stuff because he likes it when things are realistic. Which I assume is the reason behind his favorite thing about the movie, the sound design. He loved every little splash, gust of wind, and rustle of plants that just drew you into the film in a way that rarely even happens in live action. I didn't even notice those little details. Safe to say, people with different tastes can enjoy different things in ways we didn't even think possible. Pretty cool stuff right there. Alright, goofy anecdotes aside, let's talk movie. Usually in videos like this, the YouTuber starts giving a long, drawn-out summary to keep you watching for an extra 15 minutes, starting at the beginning of the movie and working his way through the entire thing. But let's be real, you probably already know the whole plot. I kinda hate that, and I don't really like that YouTubers just kinda draw stuff out, so I'm not going to, so I'm just gonna give you my thoughts. Bear in mind, I try to make these videos accessible to both fans who've already seen the material or interested persons who have not gotten around to trying it yet, so pretty much spoiler-free, so stick around either way. Okay, so what did Toasty think of the movie? Absolute cinema. I'm literally putting my arms in that pose as I'm recording. This might be actually the single most visually stunning piece of film I've ever seen in my entire life. The animation is just insanely good, along with an art style that just bleeds class and culture. Especially when considering the vast majority of it was hand-drawn, it's hard not to see this movie as not just a film, but a monumental piece of art. The visuals weren't even close to the best thing it had to offer, though. It was tied with nearly every other aspect of production. As previously noted, the sound design was pristine and phenomenal, and the soundtrack was some of the best classical music I've ever heard, and I'm literally a piano teacher, so I've heard my fair share. Okay, now that my generalized worship of the production value is done, let's break things down into a bit more specific levels. One thing was tone, vibe, whatever you want to call it. The plot, animation, and themes did such a good job at really making me feel how it must have felt to be ancient humanity. The immense spirit-filled forests, the great godly beasts, the magic of nature going toe-to-toe with artificial cities, it really shows you a magical world that feels real, almost real enough to feel nostalgic. Is this how our forefathers saw the natural world? It's beautiful, and very few things in life have ever been able to give me that sense of magical, mythical awe that this movie does. Its setting is so vague, yet so riveting. Speaking of the gods, they are amazing. I want nothing more than to learn about each animal god, their kingdom, their name, everything. Of course, that doesn't exist to my knowledge. This movie doesn't exactly have a lore book lying around, but that just goes to show how good the world building is. It's only a movie. They don't have a ton of screen time to flesh stuff out, all things considered, but they used the time so well, and it ended up making the world feel so deep and rich and vibrant only within a few hours. I can hardly put into words the thing this movie can make you feel, especially with the big screen and immersive speakers of a movie theater. It's seriously nothing short of magical. I always love themes of gods, especially mortal gods. Seeing how they can die, be corrupted, and how they live and influence the world is so interesting. It lets you explore bizarre and obscure topics that many other stories would struggle to tell. And not just the supernatural characters, but the human ones too. There may not be many, but they all feel relatable, understandable. Even the villain is not really a villain. I mean, the relationship between our main lead and the princess is also not explored very much on screen, yet had me invested in it pretty hardcore by the end of the movie. And Mononoke's decision to leave him and return to nature was a heartbreaking twist I didn't really see coming. They allegedly visit each other and stuff, though, so it's not a full-blown tragedy. It's such a good characterizing moment for her, though. Her morals and values are staked so heavily on nature, the wolves, and an avoidance of humans. Even though she's had a good experience with some, even though she saved him and many others, she still made the choice to stick with her beliefs and return home. Many stories would depict her morals as flawed, too rigid, or unrealistic, but this one doesn't shy away from letting her stand by them to the very end. And moving past supernatural and human characters, that really leaves us with one more, and oh boy, they're probably my favorite character of the entire movie. Yakul is one of the cutest, most goodest boys to ever grace the big screen, or any screen for that matter. This little deer fella is so loyal, so adorable, and just the absolute most best mount character of them all. Everyone loves a good heroic horse companion, and Yakul is simply the best one ever. That's all. No crazy deep dive, I just love him, and it makes me so happy. He's just sitting there. He's such a good boy. Moving past the actual contents of the movie, though, I would like to mention its impact and legacy. Not really a history lesson, but just my 2 cents on things after I've seen it. To put it simply, Mononoke shouldn't be one of a kind, and it shouldn't be unparalleled. Not that it doesn't deserve it, but I just wish that other studios were willing to compete. Not even really compete, but just create. I understand how huge of an undertaking it is to create a movie like this, but they're also some of the greatest media humanity has ever produced. Not every building can be the Great Pyramid of Giza, but there's still room for a few more, if that makes sense. And yes, amazing animated films have been created in the years following, but the industry has generally turned away from the production style of Mononoke and Ghibli as a whole. And while things like Spider-Verse do show us that animated films can be great in the modern era, I still yearn for more 2D animation to grace current-day cinema. Things like Princess Mononoke, Akira, Prince of Egypt, and probably a lot more I haven't seen or can't remember are masterpieces of an era I really wish wasn't bygone. You can pause pretty much any frame of these movies and it's a painting, not just figuratively, but literally in some cases, when they literally are just hand-drawn. So yes, Mononoke may be a film unparalleled, but hopefully something can give it a run for its money pretty soon. Anyway, let's wrap things up and whip out the taco treatise. I laid out an entire donut factory's worth of glazing on this, so I think you can guess what I'm rating it. Yep, it's a solid 10 out of 10. It's just one of the best movies to ever exist, literally ever. So if you haven't seen it, or it's been a hot minute since the last watch, I'd highly recommend it you give it a shot. I don't think you'll have ever seen anything quite like it, or will ever see anything quite like it. It truly is its own. So there you have it. Not the most in-depth, but an honest review of a classic movie. Thank you Frog Wizard for voting this video into existence. If you want to have a say in what I make next, become a channel member and vote as well. You also get early videos, shoutouts, and all sorts of perks. Here are the people who answered the question at the end of the last video. Today I'll ask, what's the best 2D animated movie? Disney, Ghibli, or anything else? Bonus points if it's the late 90s. Have a splendid day, everyone. Like and subscribe if you want more of me in the future, and even if you don't, you're still the GOAT. Don't forget to have a lovely day today, and I hope I assisted in making it just a teensy bit better. Also join the Discord to hang out with other super friendly people who share your similar interests. I always forget to plug the Discord. That's all. See ya guys later.